Hello, welcome to another coding session. In this coding session, I will work on my research project, and my main goal is to finish data fetching or data processing and saving it for further indexing. In more details, this is our goals. I want to save links and images. Right now, I already save compressed data from the website, and also I save meta information. We will review this part once more. Once this part is done, I need to finish logic when I mark this URL as a complete. So this will trigger indexing. It's like if you don't mark it, indexing will never happen. So I have a rule that I index only based on the complete data. Again, I will give more context on this one. And I want also to, maybe we can start with this one so we can warm up. I want to do refactoring. I want to extract text compressor part to a separate function. I also do this for decompression. I want to move also this part. It's a small refactoring. And if you have enough time, I'm not sure if I will finish all this in one video. Maybe we can have two parts, but next part will be like once all this done, I want to define next step. So far I have two parsers implemented. I want to finish and add the final parser, which is a webpage parser. So this will be our last part. We will define webpage data parser worker, and maybe in the future videos we can work on this part. So let's start. Let's first start with the refactoring. I already had this to-do item here. What I want to do, I want to move this logic to the function. I did this for the compression part. So I have this GZIP right. I need to have something similar for zipping basically. What I want to understand now, so what I do here, I pass this this variable, this buffer, and I pass compressed data. This is actually compressed data. Let me see. Let me put this comment. I always forget this part. Compressed page body. So what we want to do? We want to. So this is our response body, like normal text version, and we want to put it here. Like this is total opposite of what we do here in this function. And so what I want to do here, we have a variable. We will pass this variable to the function, and together with our response body. And in the output, we expect that this will be compressed and written in this variable. So quite easy. Actually, ID can help with this. I will say extract method GZIP right. Let's see if we have everything. Probably I need to refactor this part, URL string. So I need to change this part because what we will do, we will return error, and probably we will need to clean up. So like in this one, I return actual error without any wrapping, without any formatting, and let the main function do the job. And the reason for this, so next step will be to move these functions out of main logic, main application logic. So probably this will sit in the infra part. For example, we can have a compress or text compress probably. And actually we can use even like some interface, so we don't know about actual implementation. So, but this is a further step. For now, what I will do, I will just modify it a bit. So let's see. What I want to return. I want to return only error, so no need for this boolean. So let's change this part first. So we expect nil or error. This is already true or false basically. So in this case, if we cannot write and there is error, we just return this error. Same here. I don't want to remove this part. I will move this up. So we do the job. It's done. Yeah. So at the end, we return nil if everything went okay. And what we will do, we will write here. Let me check. Writer. So maybe we don't need. So we don't need this part. We need response body, and we don't need this part. So this part, I believe we can use this and say writer. No. So this is a tricky part, because what we want to do, we want to not we want to initialize any writer. This is okay. But what we want to do, we want to use the given let me say writer. But I'm trying to understand if I new buffer. Where I use this? Right. Okay. Oh, okay, so it expects actual response body. Yes, this part is okay. So this is also looks okay. We can also use error. So we get writer. We initialize a new GZIP with our writer. We pass our response body. And in the output we expect this part. We expect that data will be in this writer. So let me move this, delete this. Go back here. Here we will need to change this part a bit. So if we say it's not nil, we will log it as before. Failed to compress URL's body, show error. Yes, this is cool. and this is the only part. Yeah. Press body response body, compress body. What I'm saying is that actually I don't need this part, right? Actually, I can get it from does it cannot use typewriter, type doesn't implement as a pointer. Yeah, okay, so I believe this can no. Okay, so now we should be okay. Let me see if I use the same. Okay, so we could do it this way. Probably, let me think. Probably I prefer this one. And see, what does it say? Oh yeah, true. So I would, like, for the sake of the quality, I guess I will need to check if it's nil or not. So let me do a workaround in this case and keep the same convention here. So yeah, so now we have a function. We expect it will write, it will take text, write here in a buffer. If you have error, we will print it, and in case of error, we return from the function. So for now, what I want to do, I want to enable logging, so I see if we actually compress something. And what we can do, we can try to run. I have a few makefile targets. So what I will do, I will let me open makefile. So I want to recreate, destroy, no, recreate. So we will have clean database. Okay, so the thing is, I initialize database with some pre-populated data. So let me just check that everything went okay. I have all the, yeah, I don't have for now all the tables because I need to run, and I will need to run on only URLs. So let me show you this configuration. I basically execute the main command file with some arguments, and in this case it's only URLs. Let's execute this part. Yeah, and I also enabled compiling, so every time I run, it will be compiled, forced to compile, because sometimes Golang skips compiling. I'm not sure actually why it skips for actual code. Like when there is actual code change, I had this issue once because I was changing code, not template code, but actual code, and it was like basically ignoring my change. So let me see if what's happening. So I get this sitemaps. I wonder why next step is not happening. So basically I would expect, okay, yeah, cool. It takes some times before, I will stop in a second, but what happened just now is that we started this part, like we started whole pipeline actually. So these two worked. Say publish some changes here. Then another part worked, which parse URL for further validation. This part worked. And after we had some URLs validated and marked as eligible, our page data worked. So this model is page data. So now we can see how this compression worked. Original size. Yeah. The thing is, I made font larger, so I don't see this. Maybe wrapping. How I can disable wrapping here. View mode. Oh no. Thing is, okay, so we can use this one. So this was compressed to 85%. So original size, compressed size. This is good. So I can see, and by the way, this is manual test, right? For this part, I don't have actual test. So, and if I check database, this is a table where is a seed, there is a saved, and this is a URL, and this is its body compressed in a compressed version. What I want to do, I want to mark content. So first, what we did, refactored text compression. To just separate function, and then executed the whole pipeline to see if web page data fetched and saved in compression version. The reason I write this note because most of the time I forget what was the content of the video. So okay, so this part I guess done, and let me put manual verification because I will use this. I will review and maybe we can add later on part with tests, manual test. Okay, so this part is done. We can mark this as complete. Let me see what I changed here. Yeah, comment. Let me commit this. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay. I will commit. What we did, refactor compression into the separate one. Commit. So let's see what's next step. So let's review the process, right? What I want to next is to validate these two options. So we already finished this one. For this two, this will be tricky because what I'm doing. Let me open this workers. So I have this main entry point URLs. In these URLs, I execute each worker. So up to this point, everything is okay. Everything is implemented. So I need to make sure that this is done. This is actually done. I don't expect any further change here. This is the one that we just put this compressor. And by the way, let me put this task, sorry for multitasking, this is usually how I work. Move GZIP and GUnzip funcs into infra and introduce interface to use them. So this is refactoring. This project is issues, where I keep all the issues, and I will mark URL progress. It's not directly related, but if I have time, I will implement as part of this this project. So submit. So basically, what we are doing here, by the way, I use this GitHub automated workflow, so this will immediately appear here, so I can pick up it as a next. So by the way, let's go back to our flow. So this is a worker which will for a matched URL, which will get content of this URL, compress it and save into the database, into the table that we already saw. And the worker that depends on work on this one is a meta worker. Basically what I do as a meta worker, once I have this information about the page saved, I start actually parsing it, because before this step, everything I do is actually work with URL. And once I fetch data of this URL, I need to work further, so parse actual page content. And for this part, what I want to do, I want to and how these two interact with each other. There is two ways. First, I publish a new message. So within the same instance, if there is enough resources, enough not that much messages, this one will pick it up from the topic, from this topic, and forget for now about this part, and will parse it immediately, and then save it in database. If for some reason, as you saw that sometimes it takes a lot of time to get this data, so sometimes it can be like we stop application restarted or failed. So in a database, we have this information. And by this information, I mean, once URL is matched, we marked it as a processed or not. So until it's processed, this meta on each application start, it will get, let me see where I closed. Yeah, it will get this correction, right? It will get all unprocessed URL from match table, not from data table. This is also open question if I should check on data table or match table. For now it happens on a match table. So I check all unprocessed URLs. For now I don't mark any URL as a processed. This is also part of the task. So I get all these unprocessed URLs and start checking them. If I what this check means, I start checking that if for this unprocessed URL I have a data or not. If I have a data, I start getting a metadata. If I don't have a data, I log it and exit. Meaning that, let's say if I restart, what will happen? This worker, it will get start as every other method, as every other worker. It will check database for all unprocessed URLs, and then try to find if for this URL we have this interesting error. For this URL, if we have a data or not. And if we have a data, we start parsing it. If you don't have a data, we skip it. By the way, this error that you see on the screen, this happens because I didn't automate part where I apply collation to the database. That's why it's happening. So basically I need to mark this table as a Unicode so I can save special characters. And the error you see, these special characters, usually some articles they use emojis or any special characters, and by default I cannot save them. I will prepare another post on this, but there is a way in a GORM how you can automate this. Yeah. So this is a task that we need to do, and then the way I see how we can do it. First of all, let me a bit think. So first question: if after this one I need to mark, if I need to mark table anyway, anyhow, let me see. URLs. So this is our basically model. I want to review our model. So whenever I have a match, so everything starts when I have a matched URL. Whenever I have a match, I get data. And trick part is when I get this data, I just save this data. I don't have any other mechanism markings like, hey, I have this data, you can start meta, right? I don't want, like, one of the checks that just check in this table if you have URL in this table. If you have this URL, then you have this data. If you don't have, then you don't have data. And I want to mark, like, this is a point that I want to explain. I want to mark this processed once I have URL data as well as URL meta. And maybe even we can introduce a new table for this one for URL refs. So basically right now what we do, we save this part is done, we save this part. Now we need to verify that we mark and we do everything, and then there will be another worker, or maybe we can do also in this part, but we need to have another tables for saving images, links, and etc. So what we can do for this particular video, we can we can check meta worker. I can explain, okay, so I know what I will do. So in this one we save data, in this one we fetch it from storage or we listen to the channel and do actual parsing. This is an important part. So this parser actual parse page, I have my own parser, and I use this tokenizer to get this all information. This one deserves separate tutorial, separate video. I will explain it in another video. But basically, this model, this package, does all parser logic. And once I parse, like basically I execute this one, and then when you call get info, you have URL, title, description, keywords, and everything related to the video, to the link. And I also have actually links and images, but I don't save them anyway. So next part, what we will do, so basically we need to write a logic for saving these URLs. So let me draw the plan, and then in part 2 we can implement this plan. So what we're gonna do, we will introduce URL meta, another table, which will be URL link. In a plural form, it will be, so I use this template for table names. It will be URL links, And it will be very simple. It will be URL itself and link that it refers. Link URL. Posted, updated. For now we don't need all these. Let me see. Yeah, we don't need all this. Keywords, yeah. So this is not gonna be primary key. We don't need JSON here, go away. But what we will do, we will have index. We will have index on this. Let me see if I have similar something. It's not a unique, it's just an index. So we will use, let's use this one. So we will use index idx URL. This shouldn't be null. Everything cool. And this one. I will not add index yet. I will just say that it shouldn't be null. And the reason for this, because we need to think about use case, right? The only way that we will get this information, we will pass only URL and say that get all the links in this URL. So basically by this input we will get all couples, all links. So it will be one input will be URL and output will be all rows with this URL. So we need to index only this part. Similarly, what we will have URL image. I will call it image URL and URL, yeah, image, and it will be URL images. So these two tables will keep this information, and in this place we need to just iterate for link in range info dot, actually not info but page data. I will explain I will explain this one as I said in a separate video. I don't want to dive into these details, but very shortly, this info, like this function is enough if you want to just parse and then get links. But if you want to get do some aggregation based on the parse data, you use this getInfo, and this will aggregate, for example, title based on the meta tags or based on the actual title of the page, like, and then return you disaggregated data. That's why, I didn't have these links in the info. So this is a way, and what we need to do is we will have URL link. It will be URL link, and which is very simple. We will have view object URL and link URL, which will be link.url. Oh, this is good one. We can also keep link title, which will be link.title. And this title is if we got this URL, just an example, if we get it from a tag, it will be here, like this text will be our title. Or if we have this, let me think, if we have this, for example, like maybe this is not actually true for links, but more for images, but it can also check here, like if you have this here, right? So this will be also title. And I think for images, I look at this or at alt. That's why we have title basically. And let me create this. No, I don't want to automate. Actually, I want to automate. Let me see. String, everything cool. Yeah, it can be null. It's okay. Link URL, link title, and this will be also true for image. Image URL, image title. Image title. Actually, I was planning to do this as a part, part 2, but this part we can finish. Let me see. Yeah, one thing that we need to do, we need to make sure that all this happens in the transactions probably. And this is something for one of the next videos. But yeah, let's see. I want to just take this node, run transactions. So this will be it. I can just save it. For now I will just do URL link. I don't want to implement this method yet. URL link. Oh, okay. Yeah. And then the same will go for images. Images, it will be URL image. And very similarly, it will be not link, but image URL, image title, and let's call it properly URL image. Yeah, so this will be it. I need to implement to do save URL image. Why I don't want to do it now? Because I want to. I need to introduce a link. I need to introduce interface method and then implement it in storage. This is something also for next part. And also, actually, this is like just because I have model, it doesn't mean it will work. We will also need to introduce it in storage. So let's keep this part for a second video. So now, maybe before we finish this video, this code session, let's just overview, right? So now we do also this part. I will need to think about text and headers, how I gonna save them. They can also be and by the way, what I mean by text, right? Let me show you. So I have this tool where I can actually check, actually test. So basically, when I parse, yeah, true. Sorry. So basically, when I parse, I wonder how fast it happens. Cool. So when I parse, I get all the headers in a web page, because headers. When you index, for example, when Google index some web page, headers play a very important role for search engine optimization. So I want to also keep this data as a separate data. And then I wonder if I need to save them in storage, or I can do it later during the indexing phase. So this is something that I want to save and think. And one of the challenges, if I'm going to save it, do I want to have table for which very similar way with one-to-many relation, when you have one URL with many records, each of them containing one text. Maybe it can be just text. It can be just a field like description keywords, but saying for example headers, right? So this is something that I need to think about it. But having this URL link and image done, this is already a big part of the work. Another part is what I wanted to keep is, so for now we keep a URL link which is a very specific case when you want to just see which external or internal links the same page, given page has. But another use case is you just want to save all references between page A and B, any given A and B, and then use this information for example, for PageRank at Google does, as Google does. So you want to see, like, you have this blog post, what other blog posts refer to this page, right? For this kind of analysis. But for now, probably I don't need this part, so I will think about it later. So for now, let's just finish. I usually also commit this kind of stuff, saying that models for URL image and URL link, but yeah, it's clear that it's not finished. So this is it for this video. It was actually interesting for me, even coding session. Maybe I will record a separate, like, short tutorial on our zip and unzip, because it's an interesting part. Or I can do it once I totally refactor it. I will think about it. But thanks for watching. If you watched up to this point, thanks a lot. And see you in next video. Bye bye.